Hey, everybody. Tonight, I'm super excited. We're going to be talking about serotonin. And what is serotonin, a little science lesson, but then also how Plexus can help with serotonin production for when we're really educating our audiences about about the topic, but also about the touchy topic of, depressions, anxieties, low mood, all those things, right? So let's just start off with learning about what is serotonin. So it's actually a neurotransmitter. So a neurotransmitter, just simply put, is a chemical which relays like brain signals to from one area of the brain to the other. Okay, so they're just talking to each other. There are several neurotransmitters. There's dopamine, serotonin, endorphins. Various other neurotransmitters, but super important for regulating mood and also other bodily processes, right? So obviously with serotonin, we focus on, it's the happy chemical. It lifts our mood, it keeps us motivated, that kind of thing. It calms us, it keeps us feeling, full of well-being and joy. But it does other things too. So this was fantastic. Like this, you might want to write this down for, your posting, right? We all want to have facts in our posts. So this was a really neat one that I found. And nearly every one of the 40 million brain cells that we have are influenced directly or indirectly by serotonin. Okay, that's huge to me, you guys. As we move forward with this research, I just think it's so critical. Obviously, what we're doing on a daily basis by sharing products that are healing people and restoring their gut function, but we're helping people find their happy again. And it's just scientific, right? It's not just these claims that we're making. It's literally scientifically proven. All right, so depression. Depression is really linked to serotonin. Okay. So even the medical community feels that way. That's why so many drugs are called SSRI. So that's selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor. Okay. You don't have to write that down. You can Google that. But basically what that means is that it is a malfunction in serotonin, right? They're identified, these doctors are identifying or just maybe throwing something at the wall to see if that type of drug is going to help people. How many people have you talked to that said, I'm on this drug and it does not help me? I'm on this, but I feel nothing, right? I'm on this, but this. I'm on this, but this. So my hypothesis, my amateur hypothesis, is that we can do everything synthetically, right? We can do all these things synthetically, but when we actually heal the body and allow the body to create what it needs, get back to factory settings. We always say that on my team, get back to factory settings. That's really what's going to change things for people with their depression, anxiety, mood, motivation, all those things. Okay. So the brain gut connection, I've heard anything from 75% to 95% of that brain gut connection, meaning, 75% to 95%, it varies how much serotonin is created in the gut, right? We think it's a brain thing, but it actually comes from the gut. It's that whole term gut feeling. Okay. That's real, guys. I don't know if you get stressed out or if you are fearful. So many times people tell me that, I have to go to the bathroom immediately when I'm nervous, or, if I get stressed out, I'm like, I never go to the bathroom. These are all things that we deal with indirectly on a daily basis with our Plexus business. We just don't realize that they're having issues with their serotonin. Okay. So serotonin, I'm going to get into more what it does for the digestive system. But just in general, that brain gut connection it can't be denied. Okay. So how it works, like from a scientific perspective, is that tryptophan, okay, is converted to 5-HTP. This is happening in the body. Okay. and then that's converted to serotonin. Okay. So when we say that 5-HTP is a precursor to serotonin, it absolutely is. Okay. It absolutely is. So when we supplement with 5-HTP, this is going to come later. When we supplement with 5-HTP, we're really assisting or making up for an impaired conversion between tryptophan and 5-HTP. Okay, that's as scientific as we're getting. I'm not going to go over your head too badly here, I promise. But I just want to let you know that when you're throwing more 5-HTP into the situation, if you decide to supplement, this is obviously going to come later, you really are allowing the body to make its own serotonin. You're assisting that, okay? All right. So when people come off or want to come off of their SSRI medications, we say, bridge the gap with 5-HTP, okay? Because if you don't, you're going to get horrible withdrawal symptoms, all right? If you're not doing that, because when your body comes off of those drugs, right, and when you're messing around with neurotransmitters, I mean, it's a physiological reaction happening, right? That's a withdrawal system, okay? When you're coming off of that, you've got to give your body that serotonin somehow or assist the body in making more. So if anybody on your teams or that you're talking to say, I really want to get off of these, these medications. I don't want to be on these anymore. I typically say, let's get you back to neutral with the triplex system. Let's make sure that we're cleaning out your gut system, but we might look at supplementing with 5-HTP, so that we can assist your body in making more of that serotonin that it's used to. Okay. All right. So again, serotonin is found mainly in your intestines, but it's also in your central nervous system, meaning it's also in your brain and your blood platelets. Okay. It's everywhere. It's super important. So what does it do? It regulates a number of bodily functions. Okay, this would be information that you would jot down and share either on your walls or privately or whatever. Okay, so it regulates digestion. Okay, so it regulates bowel function and reducing appetite. People find that when they start supplementing with 5-HTP to boost serotonin naturally, they will become more regular naturally, and they will lose weight naturally. Okay, it's not a stimulant. It's that, the body is not doing that mindless snacking. To tie in a Plexus product, when people supplement with Accelerator, the reason that is effective in appetite suppression is not necessarily the stimulant piece. It's the 5-HTP of that product, okay? It's cutting down on the mindless snacking. It's the 5-HTP, again, is the precursor to serotonin. So many people start it and they're like, I'm so happy and I have energy. I'm like, that is because you have impaired serotonin function. But we keep a high level for people. We don't have to share everything. We're just happy for them. Okay, it also impacts blood clotting. So this is a good thing, okay? And this is not going to be any sort of an interaction with anything, right? This is not an interaction problem with medications. It's just a part of the clotting process. Serotonin naturally is a part of the clotting process. It's a part of bone density, all right? So too much or synthetic amounts of serotonin using SSRI drugs will contribute to osteoporosis. Okay, so that's something, if that touches any aspect of your life, that's something that I don't know if you have any green in you. I'm a red-green personality, so I get jazzy and excited about researching things. If you don't, just write it down, maybe share it. If you hear somebody in your life say osteoporosis, send them on that trail, or look it up yourself. But I found it completely fascinating. It's also tied into sexual function. Okay, it's obviously the happy hormone. It's tied, that neurotransmitter is tied into sexual function and proper sexual functionality. Okay, it's tied into mood. So this is where the starring role for serotonin is, right? This is what we believe that it's mostly applicable to, is in your body. It's called your body's feel-good chemical, right? That neurotransmitter that promotes a feeling of overall well-being and joy. You're able to feel joy again. You're able to be calm and just lifted. So that's what serotonin does for your mood. So as you can identify, low serotonin is correlated to depression. Okay. And low serotonin really is even studied by the medical community. This is not just a holistic thing, right? We've got that whole group of SSRI drugs. Okay. The medical community has made a correlation between low serotonin and depression. All right. Since serotonin is a key factor in mood balance, it is medically understood that, again, like I said, the low serotonin relates quickly to depression. All right. So how do we boost serotonin, right? How do we naturally boost it? We want to boost it. You're probably listening to this. You're like, I want all the serotonin I can get. This sounds freaking awesome. And I know you can do it. Right? We're going to talk about how we can do it with Plexus products, but we're going to talk about just what it means in our everyday life. So it helps with focus, it helps with energy, it helps with mood. If you feel somewhat low, right? If you feel that, you're just kind of blasé, on whatever level. And this is really to, I may be hitting everybody here at a decent piece of their Plexus journey. So you might not feel that anymore, but this could be, take this with you as you're talking to people and you're sharing about just what a clean gut means. Okay. All right. So, as far as diet goes, okay. And I can list this out if you guys, if we need the list, I can give it to you, but it's nuts, seeds, tofu, cheese, red meat, chicken, turkey, high amounts in turkey, right? We always talk about the tryptophan in turkey during Thanksgiving. Everyone's asleep on the couch after. That's why. Tryptophan also helps. So serotonin is also a piece of natural sleep regulation. Okay. So, we'll get more into the supplementing. But fish, oats, beans, lentils, eggs. So those are naturally occurring serotonin boosting foods. You might look at that list and say, I don't eat any of those and I have a low mood. So maybe, maybe we need to find another route. But it kind of just helps you identify with, a lot of the things on that list I don't necessarily eat, obviously, besides the meat. So, for me, I look at that list, I'm like, okay, well, I could add a few more things in. All right. So the next thing you can do to boost serotonin naturally is obviously the 5-HTP supplements that I already described, right? This is just giving your body that 5-HTP, cutting down the conversion from tryptophan all the way to serotonin. You're kind of coming in the middle and you're giving it more 5-HTP so that your body just, can easily, convert it over to that serotonin, right? To bring you up, basically. All right. So again, for Plexus products specifically, we know that Accelerator contains 5-HTP. If you're not into a stimulant and you're feeling these things that I described, I'm going to talk to you about gut healing in just a minute because I feel like that's the most key piece. But, adding in 5-HTP, there are members of my team that are, Plexus forever, but they really love their 5-HTP. Like they're never going to be off of it. It really provided something for them. And it happens to be that those folks have suffered with gut issues their whole life, right? So this goes back to what we offer people as far as a healing journey goes. We're actually helping people repair. And sometimes, guys, it's not a matter, it's just a matter of being a customer service representative for your customers and just listening to them and say, I really like how I feel, but something's missing for my mood. Something, and obviously we have Vital Biome, but that 5-HTP piece, there's nothing that can beat it. Serotonin is a naturally occurring neurotransmitter necessary for bodily functions. You suggesting to boost that is helping people. Okay, period. You're not, I think a lot of times we feel guilty, right, when we're giving people suggestions because we're like, oh, we're asking them to buy something else. And what we really have to shift our mindset to is we're educating them on how to feel the best that they can feel because their body's not running as it should, right? And those are free, but education is priceless. So always take that with you. The last thing is exposure to light, okay? Exposure to light's going to naturally boost your serotonin. It's going to naturally give you, that feel good, right? That vitamin D, right? We love that. I mean, it was basically cold and then it was blazing hot all summer where I live. So it was like, I didn't get as much vitamin D as I could have, but just really suggesting that to get out and walk and all those kind of things. So the real key piece that I want to talk about, and I found an awesome article that I'm going to link. I'll link it in Tracy's page. I'm going to link it on my page too for my team, but it's actually a wellness center that I found. I was actually researching this all day because I like to get up to snuff when I do these calls. It's a great article. I mean, it lays it out. It's fantastic. I would link it, share it. It's really, really fantastic for helping people understand the impact of Candida on a lack of serotonin. Okay, it's a perfect article. I'll share it with you guys. But essentially, what we know is that we already know that if we've got any type of a gut issue, we give those lists out. We talk about leaky gut. We've talked the talk. We've walked the walk. We're all on the products ourselves. But really educating our personal network to the impact of poor gut health. It is just beyond immune system, right? It's our brain. It is our brain too, guys. So that's really where the link of Candida to serotonin exists. So what I want you to do is I'm obviously not going to go through the entire article, but it really hits it. I love it. Highlights are obviously how to improve. This article really lines out that yeast overgrowth is tied to all types of depressive disorders, all types of mental dysfunctions. And this is anything from mild sadness or even seasonal affective disorder to schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, all these things. And right, it's a range. Just like when we talk about autoimmunity, you can have something as small as seasonal allergies, or you can be all the way to 4 autoimmune diseases. It just ranges. And where it lands is your gut, right? When we remove pathogens from our gut system and allow the body to seal and heal itself, we really give ourselves the ability again to return to factory settings. Okay. So when we can clean the gut system of that bad Candida, we can really, and move again. If people are constipated, they're angry. I don't care who you are. Okay. Period. Okay. Coming from somebody who that was my situation, when somebody is not going to the bathroom, they're not going to be as happy or functioning properly. They're just got toxins in their bloodstream. Honestly, it's the same thing for if they're going too much. Something is not working properly. You're not going to be absorbing nutrients if you're going to the bathroom too much. So it's 6 or half dozen. I don't even know that saying, but what I'm trying to say is anything impaired in your gut is a signal that your neurotransmitters probably aren't going to be the greatest. Your immune system is probably going to be not working as it should. So something to know that obviously we can boost this the body's natural ability for serotonin. But when we clean the gut system, meaning with triplex, or if somebody doesn't need that bio cleanse, that's obviously okay too. But allowing that gut healing by really, moving forward and making sure that we're getting rid of that yeast, the body is naturally going to produce more serotonin. Okay. People are just going to get happier. I mean, I know that you guys have customers or ambassadors on your teams that just say like, I just feel great. Like I don't take my Xanax anymore. I didn't, it's just an accident. I didn't, and it's really precious to watch people feel that way, because it's like, we know why, right? We know that when you heal the body, you give the body what it needs by taking out all those toxins, removing the toxins, the serotonin and all of those neurotransmitters, those functions that start in the gut, but also are really connected to the brain with that blood-brain barrier. it's just going to take their health and their functionality there to the next level. Now, if somebody is on Triplex, they're doing great, and they've really, moved up their ProBio 5, and they're saying, you know what, I feel good, but there's something just a little bit missing. I would recommend a 5-HTP supplement. They're super inexpensive. And they really, really are a game changer for a lot of people. Now, don't want to, take away anything from Accelerator. I think it's fantastic. Okay. And not going to be for everybody. Some people are not going to want a stimulant product. Some people are going to need more 5-HTP that is in Accelerator. We don't know how much is in it. It's a proprietary blend, as you guys know. So again, your audience. I can't, give you, there's not a one size fits all for that. But serotonin really, really does start, it resides in the gut. And when what Plexus does, we naturally boost that functionality. Okay. The other thing I want to mention is that not only is Triplex fantastic, Original X Factor especially is extremely healing for especially people with inflamed bowels of any kind. I'm thinking specifically on autoimmune bowel diseases of all kinds, too frequent of bowel movement, not absorbing nutrients. That is going to be a critical piece of feeling good. A lot of times, and I know we're talking about serotonin here, but a lot of times any kind of general sadness can be an absence of certain vitamins, specifically B vitamins in the body, and those are absorbed in the gut system. Okay, so that's a really good product to tie into, Triplex. But anything you can do to allow the body to absorb nutrients better and then boost that natural serotonin. A lot of people are going to get a natural serotonin boost just by our products, period. Specifically the gut health products, but I love tying in Triplex. I just feel like it's for everybody. If a child can take that, like, okay, let's blast this from the rooftops, duh. It's for everybody. And so, getting people on Triplex is critical. And then that's going to naturally boost serotonin. But then obviously we've got other options, right, for people. We've got Accelerator that's got 5-HTP in it that's going to lift that mood. Vital Biome is freaking amazing. That is those strands are just going to further heal the gut, give the body those strands that are proven to work. Right. And then we're going to get, especially Original X Factor, because it's not harsh on the stomach. Some people are extremely sensitive, right? If they've got those impaired gut systems, they're extremely sensitive. Okay. So that's really the most gentle one. So that's what I would look at. So, I hope that this helped you guys understand a little bit more about just the role of serotonin in the body. Does anyone have questions before I stop recording? Hang on, I can unmute everybody. Maybe. Does anyone have questions right now? No?
I don't have any questions, but that was amazing information.
Oh, who said that?
Donna.
Oh, good. Oh, Donna, I love you. So sweet. No problem. I think our products are just phenomenal. And for me, I hope if anything, this is belief building for everybody. Mm-hmm. Right? There is no one that should not be on Plexus, period. Right. So
I agree.
So would you say you start with the Triplex and the Vital Biome, or do the Triplex first and then gradually add in the Vital Biome?
So this is my opinion only.
Okay.
You never start somebody on Triplex and Vital Biome together.
Okay.
You are asking for, and again, I know that I'm more focused on really impaired gut systems, but you just don't know how somebody's going to handle all of that healing.
Perfect.
Yeah. So you can do one or the other. I always tell people that, it doesn't really matter, because I always just, have them give me an upfront contract, meaning you're going to be on both of them. So we can decide, we can start however we want, but does that make sense?
Yeah. Perfect.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. I have a question. I've been told you have to be careful with, yes. So, okay. So specifically, SSRIs and MAOIs. Definitely, if you're trying to come off any of those, you know what I mean? Like if you're trying to come off of those and be more natural, my advice and people, you can do whatever you want, right? We've got to tell people you can do whatever you want. My advice is to work with a pharmacist. Doctors are going to be less tolerant of holistic interventions. Pharmacists are just going to understand the function of the drug and work with that. You know, obviously your doctor's going to have to stair step you down unless you've got a tablet that you can break. So yes, I mean, you have to be educated, especially if you're going to be doing that for your own health. The reality is we've got a lot of information. We've got a lot of knowledge, but at the end of the day, we have to tell people like, you can do whatever you want. And trust me, I mean, I feel like I'm pretty well read on these kind of things, but that I'm never going to get, I'm just going to always like leave it in their lap. I know that sounds like you do whatever you want. I'm here for you. I'm going to coach you through. I'm like right here with you, but you've got to understand that it's, there are precautions, you know, against it. So, you know, got to be cautionary about it. So yeah, I mean, especially with the SSRI now, there are people, I don't know if she's on this call right now, but one of my girls went cold turkey with it. She did the natural method. She, you know, we worked on it and that was her choice. Right. So, you know, I think that, you know, we've just got to put it in their lap, but the education about the role of serotonin and the fact that our products will naturally help them make that. And it will help them bridge the gap to becoming more natural. Some people are just going to say that's what, you know, some people come to me with plexus and that's their goal. I want to get off these drugs. I don't want to be on these drugs. Other people are like, I want to lose weight, whatever, you know, they don't really care, you know? So I think that again, a lot of education and, you know, opportunities arise as people start to feel better for a change of mindset.
So can you hear me, Sadie?
Yep.
So what are the names of some of those drugs that you're talking about?
Zoloft, I believe it's Zoloft, Paxil.
Okay, so they're antidepressants, anti-anxiety. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Antidepressants are going to be that SSRI category.
Okay.
Okay. Anti-anxieties are more like Xanax. And so people will just stop taking Xanax and it's not really like that. I've noticed they'll just be like, oh, I just don't take it anymore because I have plexus now. You know, the antidepressant really works on that neurotransmitter functionality where your brain is affected. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes, it does. Thanks.
The dependence and et cetera. Okay. Also, what is the length of time should someone be on accelerator? 6 month suggestion, 5 weeks. Okay. So this is another thing. The question was, do people need to get off of the accelerator, do the 5-HTP? Yes, because that is what the bottle says. It's really up to people, right? It's up to them. I'm not going to be the person to say whether they should or shouldn't. I've never taken a break from 5-HTP, maybe a day break. I feel okay, but I'm also not taking a really high dose. Okay. You know, and I'm not, so we've got to look at all the angles. We've got to look at how high is the dose? What was the situation before? That kind of thing. I have a friend that was on 5-HTP. She quit cold turkey because she found out she was expecting, and it was very hard on her. So we've just got to look at case by case basis, and do the research. You know, I mean, some people are going to say, I don't care what that bottle says. I'm doing whatever I'm doing. Some people are going to say, oh, it says I could be on it this long. and I'm going to be on it this long, and then I'm not, you know, I mean, I think it just comes down to personality, and it comes down to what's working. If it's me and something's working for me, you're going to have to pry it out of my dead hands to stop. But that's my personality, right? So, you know, I think that, you know, we just have to leave it up to them. Give them the education, be tender and gentle and encouraging, and people are going to do what they want to do. Anyone else? I will tell you that it was about a year ago, I did like a poll on my team page, and we really got a lot of participation, and it said, what is the one thing that was unexpected about Plexus that you've experienced? And I would say 90% of those people said, I never wanted to get off of my antidepressant, or I never expected to feel happier, higher mood, you know, all things related to that depression and anxiety piece. And like 90% of those people said that that was their unexpected benefit of Plexus. I mean, you guys, we really make people happy. And it's scientific, right? It's scientific, the reason that it works. So feel encouraged about that. You know, feel really good about the fact that you have basically a backdoor antidepressant route for these people, and they don't even know it yet. They just want to lose weight. They don't want to be bloated anymore. And we're actually going to make them happier. So feel really happy about that. I know that I believe we have the best job in the world because we just heal people. It's awesome. Does anyone have any other questions before I stop recording? No? Thank you guys for spending your Monday night with me. We'll see you later, and I will link that article on both pages. Okay? It's freaking awesome. Bye.
Thank you, girl.
Bye. Thank you, Sadie.
See ya.